two things. Hey, I've already fucked up enough. How much worse can I make it with puns? So, I think at this point, one, Jericho thinks that they should start running for the entrance that will get them closest to wherever they expect to have left the group. I don't remember if that's 1 or...
Entrance 1 is the closest to the party, yes.
Okay. So yeah, I think he'll suggest they head that way. That also works pretty well based on his originally planned escape route of...
You did roll a natural 20 on that one, so I wanted to give it to you.
But as he's doing so, he would also like to do his best to judge the staff that he is now invisibly carrying, to see what, with all of his bardic knowledge, he might have any hope of figuring out if he's capable of basically attuning to it, or if anybody, or what the requirements of that would be, or if he can use it in any way, because apparently this is the key to controlling that thing.
Yeah, so I think that I'll give you a roll. It's going to be extremely hard while you're on the run, obviously, and also invisible. That also plays a factor as well. But I think that you can certainly make an Arcana roll. This is definitely Arcana for sure. And I think it's going to be, obviously, based on intelligence, and I think it's mostly your knowledge of, like, how objects of control operate, and whether or not you might be able to operate one. Not necessarily specific to the staff, not necessarily specific to the undead dragon, but I think just in a generalized sense, if you know that that sort of thing is possible.
Yeah, and obviously this is no time for pride, so... He will also say, Farah, don't suppose you've seen something like this before, or heard of anything like this before, or had the slightest clue what's going on right now?
You wanna help him by delving your brainstem, Farron?
Sure.
Okay. All right.
Sing an inspiring verse, maybe.
Yeah, maybe sing an inspiring verse.
Hey, come on, you can do it, Jellicoe. If there's one thing that being a bard you could be better at than me, it would be figuring out what the hell this thing is.
I mean, also everything else, but I'll take it, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty inspiring. Yeah, not bad. Not bad. A 20...
Does that include bardic inspiration?
You can roll it, yeah. Absolutely.
That's a D8.
Not bad. Cool. So... Yes, I think you definitely, and this, you're probably delving on knowledge not only based on what you know yourself, but also probably what you've learned while you've been in the Order. Because control is a very important aspect of what the Grey Order does, right? Whether it be controlling through favors or controlling directly. So you know that lesser beings can certainly be controlled through various magical objects. Typically, they are one of two things. They are either, like, a part of that creature or, like, some source of that creature's kin. But they have some, like, direct tie to whatever creature it is. So, for example, like, if you're trying to control crocodile, you might have, like, a crocodile tooth. You need a talisman of some sort to assist in the control.
Right, and this staff, does it look like... Well, did it look like it might be?
Yeah, so you remember when I described the staff, it had like a bunch of talismans hanging off of it.
Right.
So reasonably, one of those might be what might be utilized in this instance. The other thing you know about control is the stronger the creature that you are trying to control, the more fragile a hold you will have on it.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So I think that reasonably you'd be able to assume that even if you could control this thing, it may be only for very, like, minor actions, right? Like, you may not be able to directly control it.
Or
and again,
shut it down.
Right, yeah. You may not just be able to be like, you know, fly yourself into the sun. Like, that's obviously not a thing you'd be able to do. But, like, simple things, perhaps.
Okay.
And
okay,
I think
that's a start.
Yeah, and I think that the third thing that you know is the greater...
Have done that?
Well, the greater the creature, the greater level of exertion it requires to enact control over it, for obvious reasons.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, so I think those are the three things you know, and you know with this staff, and based upon what you heard Varen yell, it is technically possible that this might be able to do just those things.
Fantastic. Okay, let's find the others then.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. So you begin darting back to entrance number one. Yeah.
Yes.
Hannibal. I think that after a while, Doc Manic does go back in. But while the two of you are running, Aelin and Morella, are you guys actually headed to the surface with Obek?
Yeah. I mean, I think that they took that kind of as a call to action, as it were. And I don't think any of us are ones to hide in this friggin' caves. So,
yeah.
I think, though, that, I mean, we knew which general path, because Farron and Jericho were the only ones who told us they were going somewhere, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So we would know which way they went at the very least.
Yeah, I think
they
even so much as told you, we're going to go scope out the temple.
Right. So we would expect from a particular entrance to go. So I think that's where we would be headed.
Okay. Yeah, and I think that it is probably appropriate that, since it takes a while to kind of meander your way up through the tunnels, perhaps the group of you meets in the park. And while you've been running, Farron and Jericho, I think that you've heard sounds of, clashes of battle, and you've probably seen, the signs of, fire being shot into the sky. Obviously, magical fire, but maybe some, fiery arrows or something else. And you've seen the creature probably, as you're ducking in between buildings and as you get glimpses of the creature, it appears to be circling around the temple. And I think that at one point you see it, blast of this, grayish, greenish acid that kind of, as it strafes the building, and you hear, screams of men and women who are fighting it. Yeah, it's melting things left and right over there. But appears to be currently engaged with the defenders of the city. So, you probably get to the park and you're your invisibility, it takes you less than an hour, obviously. But as you're entering into the park, I think that you see, Morella, has moved the crate aside and is, helping Aelin and Daniela up through the grate. And they're, bedecked, right? All their armor is equipped, they have all of their stuff. You see them getting out, and I think that as you're, approaching them, and as they're getting all out, we see the creature, it flies, dramatically, of course, directly over top of you, with this screaming... And, you see it melt a house, maybe 100 feet away, and it just, it bathes it in acid, and you can see the house and the stone begin falling apart and crumbling. And it just rockets off, into the night. And Morella and Aelin and Danielle and all them, you all look up and maybe you cover your head as it flies by you, and then you see it take off.
Which way did it fly?
It flew southwest, this direction.
So it flew by me.
Yeah, you would have, if you were tracking it. Yes, it flew. It took this path right here, basically.
So would I have been able to get a good look at it?
Yeah, you probably could have gotten a decent look at it. Remember, it's not bathed in light, so again, it looks like a very shadowy...
I have dark vision now, but would that really matter?
Not at the distance that it flew, but yeah, I think you get a better estimation of its size and general shape.
Okay, I'm still chilling on the roof, waiting for him to leave.
Mm-hmm. Jericho and Farron, do you engage with the two? Because remember, you're invisible; they can't see you.
Yeah.
Do we
Yeah.
engage with what?
With Aelin and Morella and Daniela and Obek that have come up.
I mean, that's more or less who we're looking for.
Yeah. We
So yeah, I think we drop
popped
the
into
invisibility.
existence. Yeah.
Okay, I have both good and bad news.
Aylin's just like in shock, staring up at the sky, like at currently nothing, even though she's still like confused.
Hey,
You,
uh,
as you say that, both you and Farron are both tossed studded leather armors. As
Yeah, they
Oh,
brought
fantastic.
your armor up. Cool. I like it. And your
she's
weapons, I
to
assume.
fucking carry a goddamn horse with her.
Yeah, you both get your rapiers as well. Like they're just tossed at you.
Yep.
Cool.
Thank you. So, that was apparently supposed to be the Mount of Anders Wilhelm. I wasn't actually intending to set it free. We should... Oh, Lord. Alright, this isn't their plan, but it's not our plan either. Does anyone have... Where's that, your Arcana expert? Hannibal. Solomon.
Hannibal. He
Where'd
is
he go?
away. We do not know.
Aelin should have gotten a kind of message.
That is just so appropriate to today.
Yeah, well,
hey,
but-
but on the bright side, we were tasked to create a distraction.
We're a bit early, actually, on that one. Oh god,
However-
it's just going to destroy this place.
Yes, it will. But I think we can use this chaos to our advantage. A little earlier than we like. But we know some individuals that might need to be getting rid of. If not that creature.
Look, I'd be perfectly happy to just let it run rampant to decimate their forces, except that it's probably going to be killing half the city while it's at it. Who uses that as a horse? Oh, we found Anders Wilhelm as well, by the way. Briefly, he left, but he was also present, so he might come back, actually.
He probably will.
Thought that might cheer you up, or something.
It
I don't
doesn't.
actually know if you have feelings.
There's a cold expression growing on her face. As much as I enjoy your jokes, Jericho, I think now's not the time for them. Suit up.
But it's a coping mechanism, honestly, you know that, he says as he's putting on his armor.
Yeah, like as you're pulling it over your head.
Yep.
Yeah, totally. So, what's the plan, Morel? Are you gonna lead the party to Garulda? Because I think that's your first target. But you know of the other targets, and you don't have Hannibal, and no real means to directly communicate with him.
Yeah. The first thing would be, does anyone have any idea where Hannibal might have gone?
He didn't tell you.
No.
I
He
did.
tends to do that.
I think I did tell you, actually.
You didn't.
He meant to.
Yeah.
In his mind, it was clear.
You didn't tell us for this reason, because you wanted to do something.
Oh, yeah.
I think
So-
that Aelin, you feel a warmth in your pocket. And it's the dove. And as soon as you touch it, you get like what's almost yelling. But like not yelling at you, but just like loud talking. And it's like if somebody sent you a message in all caps. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
And it says, "Where are you? What's going on? Are you hurt? Are you in danger?"
In not all caps, and trying to be calm, she sends back, "I am fine, but there's something very large coming your way." We have seemed to have set something free. And again, Aelin actually hasn't been told what is going on, so that is the best that she can come up with at the moment. Yeah. Be prepared is basically what she says.
Yeah, and I think that Hannibal, almost simultaneously, you, like, Dane probably, like, is prompting you to go into his vision, like, frantically prompting you to go into his vision.
Yeah, I do it.
Yeah, and so you morph in, and you see Cahill has, like, he is riding through the camps, rousing the men, like, commanding them, everybody needs to be up, we're marching, like, right now, you know, either be at risk of being left behind all by yourself if you do not rise within, like, the next hour. We're marching now. It's like the middle of the night, right? They all marched all day long, and now they're getting ready to march again. And all of the, like, Dane is, like, you're getting, like, this weird, like, flopping, because Dane is, like, holding on to his cloak and, like, flying in the wind, like, just trying desperately to keep up, because he's galloping through the camp, like, trying to rouse everybody to get them up and prepared for whatever may be coming. The combination of your message, Aylin's message, your message, has sent him into a panicked frenzy.
So I'll say, Daniel, you're right to do this, you know? You might want to avoid this thing. Maybe not go forward, but go around.
Yeah, and I think Dane replies to you, and he says, there's no way he's going to listen to me right now.
Just, we'll keep on saying it, eventually. We don't want him moving forward to try to take this fucking thing on.
I would rather not be crushed by him.
This is annoying. Just, I don't know. Just something to get his attention.
Okay. I think that's what he says. He's like, okay.
Right,
and then, like, the communication's broken off. And I think you see Doc Manic. He appears to, like, be closing the door, and he pulls out this very old, like, set of iron keys and sticks one in the lock and kind of clicks it. And you see he's got, like, a big, like, satchel bag. And he kind of, like, hefts it up onto his shoulder and kind of, like, looks around and begins walking, and he's whistling. He's like...
Is it just him, or is his little bodyguard coming
It is
with him?
just him. No, they're not... His friends are not allowed in polite company.
Okay, I'm gonna wait 30 minutes, then I'm gonna go knock on the door.
30? We're all gonna be dead by then.
Fine, 15. I'll wait 15 minutes.
Okay, so while Hannibal does nothing, we're gonna have 4 sessions.
Okay. So, I think that I want a real quick scene with Kree.
Okay.
So, Kree, you have been woken from your sleep by the shouting and kind of commotion going on in the camp. You probably assume that you're being attacked, like, right off the bat. That's probably what it sounds like from inside of your tent.
Oh, there's... Okay.
So you, like, burst out, and you see that, like... You see some galloping horses, like, being, like, brought around, and then I think there's a skink and a saurus that are your tent guards for the night, and I think they're probably your tent guards, and you probably tell them every time not to show up and do that, but they do anyway. It's one of those scenarios, most likely.
As they do.
Right, and, like, you see Noct is kind of on edge and, like, standing up and, like, kind of, like, looking around. And the two of them are kind of... They have their weapons, like, kind of pointed downwards, like, kind of looking around. They're not sure what's going on either. And
Noct,
the source...
come here.
Yeah, he comes bounding over and kind of skids to a halt. You see that he's already got his... He's thrown his own saddle over his back. It's just not buckled.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and fix the buckle.
Yeah, he just can't buckle it himself.
Yeah. And I'm gonna go ahead and hop on to Noct, like, stand on top of his saddle and look towards the city.
Yeah.
Because I don't see any immediate movement in the camp, so that's my
So the thing that you see, roll me a perception check to see how much you see. It's obviously like a great many miles off, but there is something that you can get from this.
Okay, roll 20 is taking just a second to... It's being
It's
a little
fine.
slow.
Roll 20's been weird for me lately. It's been doing it where I can't use the scroll wheel sometimes, and it's really annoying. 18's pretty good. So I think you see it's somewhat of a clear night, but there's some cloud cover like in the distance, and they part just long enough for you to see this very faint beam of light in the sky, in the general direction of where the city is. And again, it's maybe 50 miles out, but you see it just like come up in the air, and then you see it kind of peter out and like some like almost like fireworks when they've already exploded, but they're kind of just ascending. That's kind of what you see, and then the clouds kind of move back over again. You're not sure what the hell it was, but it was something.
Knocked, let's go. Wake everyone up. Men, get everyone together.
Yeah, and I think the two guards nod and begin doing what the rest of the camp is doing. And I think that a messenger girl comes up to you. She comes running up to you, and she's like, Lord Cree.
Yes, what is it?
A message from the great Lord Cahill. And she kind of like has a note and like holds it, like she's on her tippy toes, like holding it up to you.
What's the situation? Explain, now.
I don't know. I was just told to bring this to you.
Give it to me.
Yeah.
And he kind of like rips it from her hand.
Yeah, and she gives you like a very quick curtsy and begins sprinting off back towards wherever she came from. And you open up the note, and it's kind of like hastily scribbled. It says, "Gather the riders. We move as soon as we are able." That's all it says.
And that's just what I'll do. Time to get the riders together.
Yep. So you begin forming the ranks of the cavalry. And I think that as you're like forming them all up, there is somebody who comes up and talks to you. That is the wrong document. There it is. So I think that yeah, totally. Lady Tolsbeck comes riding up, and you can see she's got like leather armor on and a bow, like a short bow, like kind of across her saddle. She appears like ready for war, and like a couple of small daggers or short swords perhaps at her hip. And she comes riding up, and her horse kind of skids to a halt in front of Noct. And she says, Lord Cree, we are to ride. I have been assigned to you.
Well, let's just go have some fun. This seems like a big fight. All right.
I know not what it is,
Gather
but
the rest of the men.
I have been given instruction by the Lord Cahill. We are to ride as fast as the horses will take us, well, as fast as the creatures will take us. We are to go north, right ahead of the army. See what is in store for us. We are to be the vanguard. He thought that you might like that.
Does know me. And if you would like, you can be by my side. You need the men first.
And how expendable the lizard folk are.
Yeah, and I think that shh, don't give him any ideas. I think that she looks you, she gives you like the once over, and she nods and she says, "Very well, my lord. Let us go." And you begin marching out at a trot. And as you depart, once you guys are out of the camp, and you probably have the entirety of the Lizardman cavalry with you, you see that that joining your ranks, like falling in next to you, are the Kislev bear riders. And Lady Tolsbeck, she says to you, she says, "Ah yes, We have also sent the Kislevites to join us. We will be coordinating with them for anything that we need.
Valuable ally.
Indeed. Also, I am to tell you, and you alone, should you have need to contact Lord Cahill, I will be your outlet. He will also be relaying orders through me. And she holds up this small, almost like palm-sized stone that appears to have these notches in it that kind of form a star. And she holds it up and she says, "This is the device. Should I fall or should it go missing, we will be out of contact."
Tuck it away. With any hope, it's not going to be needed until, well, we're in.
Yeah, and I think she nods and she says, "Very well." And she kind of wraps it in a cloth and puts it in like one of her pouches that's on her belt. And the group of you ride towards Mindenheim. So, flashing back to the group of you. So, you're in armor. The five of you are in armor. You have your weapons. You will stand out less now. The one who will stand out the most is Obek, obviously. But, Obek, you're good at stealth. And, you know, if you probably have a hood and something to kind of conceal you a little bit. And so you might be okay. And there are obviously a lot of other people running around right now with weapons and stuff. Because it seems like there's a lot of commotion going on, mostly because people don't know what the fuck is going on. So that's a thing, right? So you guys can move fairly freely, but if you encounter any like larger groups of, you know, maybe like actual like Norsemen or soldiers, there may be some weird things there. Also, Aelin and Daniela are not super concealed as to what they are. So that's a thing to consider as well.
Yeah.
So Marilla, I think you were kind of taking the lead here, unless there is more. I guess I should ask, is there more discussion that happens while like the 5 minutes are passing that Jericho and Farron are putting on their armor?
Yeah. If they're definitely not taking the let's be sociable and talk about this before we decide, Morella's going to just deter the group to what she wants.
Sure.
Lead them. So.
Sure, but I'm more interested in like, is there a question session with Jericho and Farron about what the hell, guys? What the hell?
I mean,
they essentially pulled a Hannibal, if we're being fair.
So.
Is that what we're calling it now?
Yeah.
That's what we've always called it. You just have been missing.
Yep. So, sure, let's go with that. So, you went to go see what happened in the temple and somehow unleashed a creature of nigh high imaginable powers.
They were performing some kind of horrendous necromantic ritual inside the temple. We decided to disarm the necromancer. Apparently, he was much further along than it looked. On the plus side, it isn't entirely under their control and serving their every whim. This is actually better than the alternative. I just like to deal with it faster. Apologies for not letting you know in advance. We had some limited opportunities.
Okay. What else did you learn?
Do you add anything, Farron? Or do you do like the wide eye stare at Jericho and Morella?
Yeah, because I mean she's still a noble. And very few people would actually directly challenge that.
Yeah, and you don't know a lot about Jericho, but it appears their relationship is far different than yours and Morella's.
Oh yeah.
But she just simply sighs. And you said that you saw Anders.
Yes, that thing was supposed to be his. Now it isn't. See, already we're doing better than we could have.
What did you learn besides all this? What else did you learn?
That he wants nothing more than to be a supreme ruler across the lands.
Yes, he was listing his nemesis of the day. Cahill, obviously. Hannibal, wherever Hannibal is. Aelin, some short person with a knife. And who else did he hate, Farron?
Well, it was the one he hated the most.
I mean, never said by name. There was a priest that they were talking about as I look at Aiden.
Yeah, so just as a reminder, because I think that was actually like before break, they mentioned Kree.
Oh, right. Yes.
Yeah, and that was the one that Anders specifically said, "I'll deal with him myself."
Yes, I knew I was forgetting something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
then
so
the other important thing from there is they spoke about Aelin, but then they said, "I believe she's reserved, and we are not to touch her."
Yeah, I currently Jericho's planning to bring that up with her separately.
Separately, okay. All right. I just wanted to make sure what you were saying here. If you remember, I'm giving a reminder because it is important information. I don't want it to be missed.
Yep. Nope.
Yep. So, as you say all this, besides the reserved part, I assume, because you're keeping that for
Yes. No. We end with the lizard folk general Kree that Anders apparently intends to kill for him by himself.
So,
Didn't mention you, which I thought was rude.
Yeah. So with that, there's actually like a gritting of the teeth, and you can see that her muscles are actually flexing underneath her, like her clothes and things like that, because she's tense.
Plate.
Yeah, she's tense.
The plate bends and
Yep.
Yeah.
Or it creaks a bit.
yeah, the buckles where they connect together, like just they
Yep.
stretch a little bit. Yeah.
Yep. Come. We have work to do.
What do you think I've been doing?
So I assume you lead him off. In what direction do you lead them off, Morella?
Northwest.
Okay. Yeah. So you're going to where you know Gerulda's hideout to be. Okay. Cool.
Yep.
So the group of you begins marching. Obek, roll me a religion check for me.
Religion. Oh!
Shit. Good thing it wasn't going to be particularly hard. You feel that great energy coming from the lance, but it appears not to be glowing anymore. It's almost like it's reacting to the situation you were in, because obviously if it were glowing, it would give you away. But it appears not to be glowing anymore. But also, you feel innately drawn to the southwest, in the direction of where you saw that beast fly. Like, every now and then you just find yourself kind of, like, lazily, like, staring in that direction. You kind of, like, shake yourself out of it. And I think that, like, when you turn a corner, maybe, like, you slip, and the lance kind of, like, almost... You feel like it almost dragged you in that direction a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like it's kind of trying to pull you along with it. But you're able to keep it together and not lose your mind. If that role were reversed, that might be different.
I'm with the party, right?
Yeah.
Unless
I'm gonna
you stay behind.
No, I'm gonna try and get their attention and be like, I think I know where the thing is, the flying thing.
There's a sudden stop as Morley glares at you, Obek. What thing do you speak of? You mean that flying creature?
He did say the
Answer
flying
quickly.
I did say the flying thing. Chotek is guiding the way. He's choosing the path, and he kind of like lets the lance pull him along a little bit.
Yeah, and you see it like points in the direction. Now you guys did see the thing fly like past the city limits and off in the southeastern direction. So it reasonably could be pretty far away at this point. But there's it's definitely drawing you towards it, Obek.
See, it guides me. Chotek does not want this thing living.
Yes,
Well,
and do you
neither
plan
do
to
I,
outrun
but I'd
it
rather
with
see
your
it.
simple feet?
I'd rather see it out there than back in the city.
Well, just so you're aware, I know where it is.
If my feet could take me, I would strike that creature down from the sky itself. We have work to do.
I don't suppose
Now
we
follow.
have any other divine input.
No.
He's looking to Aelin as he says this.
Oh yeah, no, Aelin is looking at the top, but also recalling her last commune with her deity, which was less than helpful. And she simply shakes her head.
Hint, hint.
Okay.
Do you say that out loud, by the way, Jericho?
And what part?
Divine. The divine.
Yes.
Yeah. Morella just simply looks at you. Yes. Urson's guiding my way. And he wishes death. Now come. And then she begins
Interesting.
walking back the way
Yeah.
we're heading.
Yeah, continue to walk along the path. Cool. Let's do this. So you guys are probably about halfway there by now. So I want to jump back to Hannibal real quick. Hannibal, your 15 minutes has passed. You drop down from the roof.
I put on my mask.
Yeah, you put on your mask again, and right before you go knocking, you hear like a tap of like metal on stone. It's coming from like behind and to the left of you.
A turn.
Yeah, and so you see a short halfling-sized figure, and then behind that figure you see another human-sized figure who's facing the other direction. And as the halfling-sized figure steps into the light, you recognize it immediately as Kira.
Who is it?
Kira, the Spear Maiden.
Oh.
And she kind of like looks at you and she says, "You know we are supposed to guard you too. If you go off by yourself, it's a good way to get yourself killed."
Oh, you're here. And then I look at the human size. Who's the human size?
It's Malia, her spear sister.
Oh.
So
So
you
you're
ever
both
find
here.
only one of them in a place.
That's
Yeah.
good.
They are together at all times.
I look at them both. I say, "Oh, you're both here. Well, that certainly makes things easier." Then I just pound on the door while still looking at them.
Yeah, and I think Kira probably like smiles and shakes her head, and then I think Malia from behind her kind of gives you a dark look, like, dude. And you see them. They kind of split up and go on either side of the door, and they appear to be ready to pounce, if need be.
Mm-hmm.
You get no response though from the door.
Okay. I use detect magic to detect magic on the door.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so you cast detect magic and you're scanning the door. Nothing appears to be magical.
Alright then. Can I just blast the lock?
You absolutely could blast the lock.
I blast the lock.
Yeah. So you just Eldritch Blast. You knock the door. I assume 10 feet back of the door, 10 feet back, and it just blasts inward.
Honey, I'm home.
Cool. I need you to roll me a. Let's see. How many saving throws?
Really?
Oh yeah, totally, dude. Yeah, roll me a dexterity saving throw first. Oh, perfect. So, what happens is, as you blast the door inward, you hear a tinkle, and you see a string fall to the ground, and it's got the same type of like little vials that you're carrying. They're a little bit bigger, and they fall to the ground. And there's a moment, and then we hear a. And I also need you to make me a con check as well, or a con saving throw. So this is for the dex saving throw, and then this is for the con saving throw. So you failed both of them.
Good.
So you're gonna take 10 damage, and you are now poisoned. So a puff of like this noxious smoke rises up, and you take you feel like a stinging in your like in your hand, probably because you had your hand extended for the Eldritch Blast. And you look, and there's these little like needles or nails that are now like that have punctured your skin on your hand. And then you like you begin to cough, and you begin to feel weakened.
Well, that sucks, but.
And I think that well, yeah. So you're standing in the doorway, and I think that you see like there's like you hear a step click, step click, step click, and like coming around the corner, you see that dude that's missing a leg, but has like the really like bulky arms. And now that you've got like a closer look at him, you can see his mouth is sewn shut.
Well, good thing you can't call for help, buddy.
Yeah, and I think that you see a smile come over his face. And then he's going to
Let's do this.
Well, yeah, so I think what he does is you see him reach up with his free hand, he grabs onto one of the beams of the house, and he begins swinging like a monkey towards you.
This is gonna be fun.
But before we do that, we get over to the rest of the group. So, the rest of the group... Oh, damn. Stupid. Okay, good. Woo! I almost moved the entrance number 1 as well. Or I did move it, actually. Damn, it was supposed to be over here. Okay, fixed. You guys all arrive at a tavern deep in the Eastgate Suitgarten district, or Westgate, sorry. Forgot my cardinal directions there for a moment. And I think the first thing that you notice is in this blackness of the darkness that's all around you, and you know, like there's no street lights kind of out, or lanterns are lit, they're not lit. And in a scene where everything else is kind of going batshit, right? You hear what sounds like lutes and horns and flutes and general merriment as you round the corner, and you see, shining kind of like a beacon, there's this tavern that is lit up, and the light is spilling out onto the grounds around it. And you see that there are forms like dancing and moving along inside joyously, and there's great laughing and guffawing coming from the tavern itself. And you can see there's some people outside who are like, they have tankards of ale, and they're like linked arm in arm, and they're singing and drinking and having all kinds of fun. And it's like it's shocking, right? Like to be in this dark, decrepit place right now and see this beacon of merriment occurring. So, you guys round the corner and you kind of see that from a distance. Nobody's like spotted you or anything, but based on the description of what is going on, Marilla, you're pretty sure this is the place.
Yeah. So,
and also, it appears the party has not stopped for
yeah,
undead dragons.
Mm-hmm. So, I think fittingly, she looks at the group and says, well, let's bring the rest of the party to them.
Yeah, and are you? I have a question, Morella.
Yes.
Do you appear to be making motion to charge in there, guns blazing, as it were?
Are the front doors closed?
No, they're wide open. Music and light are spilling out onto the grounds. All the windows are open. It's a two-level building. From the top, you can see all kinds of merriment going on the upper level as well.
No. So I can assume then that from the looks of it, there's a lot of like civilians.
You see everybody in and around this place appears human.
Okay.
And you also see that there are. It's kind of a mixed bag. They're not all human. There are some halflings. There are probably some dwarves. It's not all like there's male, female, everything under the sun. You could figure out. I think that also strangely there are a bunch of like farm animals as well. Probably like outside, like feeding in troughs. The stables sound like they have horses and stuff in them, like livestock and stuff. It's very out of place.
Yeah.
But yeah, so my question is like, are you like pulling down your spear and equipping your shield and?
Oh, they would have been out at this point.
Okay, so you're approaching the building like that. I will not that I want to metagame it,
right.
But how does the party react to Marilla like walking up to this tavern having merriment with her weapons drawn and ready to go in?
Morella, you have no reason to think these people are your enemies.
I don't intend to kill innocents.
And I didn't intend to set that thing loose.
And she looks at you and she's like, my devotion is to not kill innocents. Should they prove to bring forth harm to me or to you, they are guilty of the charge. Now come.
Yeah. Aelin puts a hand on your shoulder, Marilla, and she goes, provoking them in this way will absolutely garner more violence. There has to be a better way. This is not the path.
I think Farron just brings out his lute to the front back. Any requests for music?
You know, this is the place where Gerulda is supposed to be, right?
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Who we think may have charmed, dominated, or otherwise enchanted a lot of people.
Perhaps all of the people, yes. Yeah, it is understood she has the equivalent of a harem.
Yeah, I mean, that could be voluntary. There are always going to be some traitors in the city, but I think Jericho will look to Farron, who has just any requests, and draw out his own. What's he got on him? I guess the pan flute. Candy shop.
Oh my god, please play Candy Shop.
I'll take you to the candy shop.
Holy shit, that's amazing.
I'll let you lick my lollipop.
Jericho's doing the
Go ahead, girl,
do-do-do-do
don't
on
you
his
stop.
tongue.
Anyway,
Ocarina!
spot.
Ocarina 50 Cent, go!
Oh my god. That's amazing. Anyway, so yeah, you pull out the loot, and like Morella, I think like the party all kind of like looks at you and is like, no, we should go more subtle on this one.
And I think that if you had said that, Jericho, I think she would have turned to you and said, "They are indeed charmed. I may be able to help. After you." And like, let
Same.
you walk in.
I mean,
Farron, do you know this one? And Jericho is going to begin playing his counter charm.
Ooh.
indeed.
Ooh. Ooh. Look at you guys. So, I think that appropriately. I love how you both wrote that differently. Like, one of you is straight out of the book, and the other one like makes his own thing. It's great. So you both begin to counter charm over the group, and you feel a sense of. I think the group feels a sense of clarity washing over them. Morella, do you sheathe your spear and put your shield on your back and follow their lead?
See, as a player, I would do it. But as a character,
You really going to take the first swing?
Aelin is looking at you as sad puppy dogs.
They're so sad. They're huge.
They are literally the
This is like
saddest.
I think
anime character
the-
eyes.
And
Also-
her hand is on your shoulder telling you not to do it.
Yeah, and I think that Morella, if you like look for backup, how does Obek feel about this event? Is Obek still like distracted?
Very
not-
much so.
Yeah, right.
He barely passed that religion check, so this Lance is still really tugging at him.
Yeah, and I think if you look to Daniela, Morella, she's like, you see that she's loosened her greatsword, but she's not on the fence. She's gonna follow Aylin's lead in this instance.
Yeah.
But you can tell that she's probably the closest to being ready for action if it comes to it. So at least
Yeah.
you know that you have an ally should things turn bad.
I think she's gonna go the halfway mark and disequip, quote unquote, her spear onto her back. But you can tell that like she is ready to pretty much
Yeah,
the slightest tinge of
yeah. If anything, and I think that's where Daniela's at too. Like, if anything endangers mostly Aelin, but anyone else, she's ready to leap into action because she understands like where we're at here. So I think that's a so I think the final scene, you guys set it up for me. I don't even need to set it up. The final scene is the group of you becoming like stepping into the light spilling out of this tavern. And it kind of shines over the group of you, and I think the two men who have been like arm in arm singing drinking songs outside, they're like, "Hoy, welcome, grab a drink, they're all on the house, the Lady Garulda will see to you soon." And you know, maybe you all just like nod and enter, and they go back to their singing. And that's probably where we just like we do the pan up into the night sky, right? And that's it.
See the dragon zombie.
Yeah, I was gonna throw it in there. You see it flies across the moon, right? Like that's obviously what happens. So,
yeah.
Congratulations, guys! You didn't die.
yeah.
You did some crazy things, though. I'll be honest with you. I didn't expect you guys to actually try a thievery, but hey, it's fine.
I didn't expect to unleash a zombie dragon.
Yeah, so they're I in full disclosure, I know you mentioned like I didn't know they were that far along. I think the problem is they weren't, and there is a great flaw in the design of what happened that may be better or may be worse, and you might have to figure that out later.
I mean, that's great, but it's most of the time, you know, if you break if you interrupt a spell of some kind, the result isn't that it turns into an entire functioning zombie dragon.
Yeah, usually. There are specifics though about what's going on there, so don't worry.
I'm looking forward to it.
The mistake wasn't that it created a zombie dragon; it created a zombie dragon that wasn't in their control.
An incomplete function. So there are. It's like when you do a math problem and you forget a variable, and then your calculator gives you the error symbol. That's basically what we're looking at here.
And then half a city dies.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah, there are already
who use-
multiple casualties.
Who uses calculators for math?
Those of us who are stupid.
That's right. Everyone else, I don't use it.
I mean, my thing is, if I'm not allowed to, I'll try. But why not use technology to my advantage?
I mean, if you're talking about, like, polynomial functions, then yeah.
So, anyway, inspiration. Who do you guys think deserves inspiration for this session? I actually felt like I gave everybody a chance to shine, surprisingly. With all of you split,
did really well.
with all of you split up, I was a little bit worried.
Malia. I think Malia should get it.
For helping you not die.
Or just for them. I'm surprised that they managed to stay hidden when they were so fucking decked out.
Well, they're not really. They only have like leather armor and their spears and bucklers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're actually designed to like be stealthy hunters.
Okay, so I'm still impressed that they managed to follow the Great Me and me not noticing.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I vote the zombie dragon.
Yeah,
For most dramatic entrance.
Hell
No, he-
yeah! That
what are you
was
talking-
like freaking epic level boss fight entrance right there.
he also has the biggest kill count so far of any of us, I think.
Listen,
Right?
I'm gonna check the box. You guys can still choose another one, but he gets an inspiration box, and I'm checking that shit.
Agreed.
Damn it.
I mean, it's well deserved, ladies and gentlemen. Let's be
It
honest.
is.
I
It
mean-
really is.
I mean, we can fight it all we want, but dude stole the show today.
Yeah. My vote is for Jericho for carrying me all the way through that.
Holy shit! Yeah, he saved the shit out of you. That's a very true
Despite
statement.
I mean,
he will
after-
never get actual recognition. That is the truth.
Yep.
After, putting you in that situation.
I know, it's kind
and
of
you know,
his fault,
yeah,
for sure.
it's actually funny because I know that you, Liam, as a player, are like really in tune with the mechanics, and I am so surprised you didn't anticipate that.
Anticipate.
The alarm spell, because that's absolutely what it was.
Oh, no, I was absolutely expecting something
Oh,
like
okay.
that. I
Okay,
just-
all right. I just wasn't sure because, like, you seemed surprised by it, and I was like, man, he had to know that was there. Like, I telegraphed the shit out of that. Like,
Oh, yeah.
okay, good. But no, seriously, Jericho. I think if the group all decides yes, Jericho should get it. I think you deserve inspiration, sir.
Thank you.
I think you should get double.
I actually am going to. I want to give my inspiration to Obek, who can gain inspiration. Just because I think the playing around, it's first of all you have to swap characters because I am again, as I explained, Kree is still the PC, and we're gonna get him involved. That's why I'm having him do all this stuff to get him involved quicker. But I think that swapping between the two and then playing Obek as cool as you did and following the hooks that I threw out there and doing it basically exactly how I wanted you to without me telling you, I think
You know me too well.
I think that deserves inspiration. So, congratulations. And I honestly I think I want to go with Morella on this one. You didn't have a lot of opportunities to kind of show off, but I think that seeing the opportunity to take advantage of the chaos in this moment, instead of just like wait for them to show up back and then have a huge conversation about it and then figure out what you're going to do later, but like taking initiative and being like, we need to go here now because we have the opportunity to do it. I think that's really cool and is great in character, so you can have inspiration.
And it might not be for the smartest reasons, but it might be for driven reasons.
I think it was great that you stood up and took that initiative, because you identified an opportunity. So that's great. Awesome. Do you guys have any final thoughts, final words, final
high risk, high reward? That's my philosophy.
It was fun. I'm excited for next session.
I can't wait for you guys to hunt down a zombie dragon.
I'm about to put some pets down.
I'm also excited for
a zombie dragon out here.
I'm also excited for that because I get to play around with those.
Yeah.
Hannibal gets to fight all of my custom creatures, and it's going to be great.
Oh, that will be cool.
So, because that's one thing that I think I don't do well enough is create custom creatures. So I've been trying to do that a lot more. So it'll be fun.
Looking forward to it.
Indeed.
That's all I got, guys. I hope you guys have a great week. If I don't see you in a few minutes, I'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Right.
Bye,
guys. Bye,
Bye. All right, guys. Thanks for showing up. I'm glad you all could be here. It's been amazing. It's been incredible. I hope you all have had a wonderful time here. It's been a great session for me. Come back next week to see probably closer to one of the conclusions of what's going on here. I think we are very close to having some final showdowns and getting things done. So I hope you all are excited about that. I can't wait to see you all next time. So from all of us to you, may you always roll high or low depending on the game. May you always pass your saving throws, and as always, try not to die.